I think whoever coined the phrase, money can't buy happiness, has never been poor. In my opinion, money absolutely can buy happiness. It buys peace of mind, stress reduction, and a sense of security. Not having to worry about getting evicted or having baby clothes for your growing child, and not having to worry about finding transportation to work definitely makes me happy. Hi everyone, my name is Jessie, and I am 35 years old, and I have a 3-year-old wild man named Anthony. He is just the love of my life. I can't say his name without smiling. I was born in Detroit, Michigan in the early 80s to a pretty hectic family with lots of extended family nearby. I absolutely loved my childhood. It was so different from all of my friends, and I thought that was the coolest. But in hindsight, it was a little dysfunctional. My parents divorced when I was 12 and my sister was 9, after which we were exposed to very unhealthy relationship dynamics with men, abuse, and drugs and alcohol issues. I have been described as a peacock in a flock of seagulls because of my colored hair and tattoos. But there are things other than my looks that make me stand out. I am passionate, strong-willed, opinionated, loving, and outgoing. My skills are widespread and unique. I crochet blankets for my friends, I do yoga with my son, and I love to teach others about proper nutrition because good food is another passion of mine. When I was 29 years old, I suffered a pulmonary embolism and I landed myself in the hospital for almost a month. After I got out of the hospital, I was having terrible panic attacks, severe anxiety issues constantly. I was soon diagnosed with PTSD, and this was the catalyst to my addiction. About 6 months into drinking all day, every day, I met my son's father. Our similarities with addiction presented the opportunity for me to drink openly and regularly, but it also presented him the opportunity to control and abuse me. This soon gave way to regular bouts of domestic violence, frequent trips to the emergency room, and many, many police reports. After 3 years of this unhealthy dynamic, I left to pursue my sobriety and change my life, all the while hoping that he would do the same so we could be a normal, healthy family. 1 year later, he persuaded me to move out to Denver with him. He promised me that he was sober too, that he had a home for us, and had everything that I needed. But once I got here, I found out it was all a lie. So I was homeless and broke and living with an alcoholic. I had nowhere else to go because my family did not support my decision to come back to him in Denver to begin with. So if matters weren't already dire enough, I found out I was pregnant. I landed a job pretty quickly at Whole Foods Market, and I found an apartment for us, and I quickly began to build my nest. I had no support from the father, who basically barely chipped in half of the bills. Then Anthony was born on Christmas of 2016, and he's definitely the best gift I've ever gotten. I was really excited to begin this new journey of parenthood, but I quickly realized his father was not going to get on the same path that I was on. I tried to get him sober with many failed attempts, month after month. When things got bad, I visited the Rose Andom Center for Domestic Violence. I wanted to leave, but financially, it just didn't seem possible. Every waking moment at home, I spent on edge, protecting my child because I didn't know how he would act. Then one night, he came home high and ended up getting arrested for domestic abuse. It was at this moment that I became a single mother, homeless again, in a city 2,000 miles away from everybody I knew. Thankfully, I was still sober and I had a healthy child. I had an amazing therapist who introduced me to a whole new world of possibilities, leaving my toxic relationship, finding mental wellness, and bettering my life in every way. I was worried that I'd never be able to afford being a single mom. Where would I live when rent is already too high in Denver? How would I keep him away forever? And how could I avoid being a stereotype, or worse yet, a statistic? There were just 1,000 what-ifs. By the grace of God, it seemed that all of Denver was on my side. Thanks to amazing resources that this city has to offer, I was able to cover my rent until there was an apartment for us at Warren Village, which is a housing program for single parents working towards self-sufficiency. It had been my dream to go back to school since I found sobriety when I went to rehab for my alcohol addiction. It was there I learned from the counselors that the best way to stay sober is to help others. I never thought I would actually get the opportunity to go back to college, since it is obviously expensive and time-consuming. And given the current situation at that time, I just considered it a pipe dream. So I went about life helping others in the Alcoholics Anonymous community by taking on sponsees, which is basically helping others walk through the steps of sobriety. Then once Anthony and I were safe at Warren Village, I began focusing on the other aspects of my life. I began repairing my damaged credit, and I enrolled at the Community College of Denver. While at Warren Village, I gained a family that I will have with me for the rest of my life, and I am so thankful for this place. Words just can't even do it justice. I recently transitioned to a permanent housing in Lowry, so I now have affordable rent until I complete my master's degree. My life has changed so much over the past 2 years in amazing ways. I now take all these life experiences and I combine them into something I can share with others. It's another goal of mine to make valuable changes through community activism, and I now have the confidence to do these things and set the bar higher and higher for myself. I have great thanks to the Hide in Plain Sight donors as encouragers to pursue my personal, educational, and career goals. Because of scholarships like this, I feel capable to handle whatever life hands me. I am a single mom who will be able to provide for her child on her own while bettering both of our lives. Because of Hide in Plain Sight, I have been able to keep myself surrounded with resilient, overachieving individuals like the other recipients of this scholarship. But most importantly, I have a sense of security that I've never ever had in my life before. Next semester, I am transferring to Metropolitan State University of Denver to begin my bachelor's in human services with a concentration in addiction studies. I plan on applying for their master's program after that, the end goal being to move back to Florida where my family lives, buy a house, and work at the treatment facility that saved my life. I would never want to undo all the terrible things that I have been through. I have my amazing child to be thankful for. These events made me who I am today. They did not define who I am, but they have given me the strength, resilience, and determination and confidence to feel like I can do anything I put my mind to. So thank you again for giving single moms like me the support and opportunity to pursue our dreams and take care of our children. Thank you, everybody.